up, everybody? Finally got a day off for, I don't know, I've been fishing about 10 days straight. So I've had a couple of questions, people wanting to know, what kind of knots are best, how they want to tie their knots, what they should do. I only use 4 knots. There's a million of them out there. I've caught thousands and thousands of fish on all 4 of these knots, and nothing breaks, nothing happens, and I don't really have time in some of these places that I'm going to want to spend a lot of time tying fancy knots and stuff like that. So I'm going to go over the 4 that I use for basically everything. So the first one I'm going to start out with is just the old standard Fisherman's Knot. So I'm going to use this grill because it's a black background. I got a white rope, and again, y'all going to have to bear with me because I'm trying to do it something that people can see really easily. So basically, imagine we have just that's the eye of your hook, or your lure, whatever it is. So you're going to take that, super simple, and you're just going to wrap it. I usually wrap it 5, 6, 7, 8 times around there. Okay, we're going to do it 3 or 4 just for argument purposes, and all you're going to do is run that loop right back through the base of your deal, and you're going to pull it tight. And the tighter you pull it, the more it's going to wrap up and make some really nice tight coils. That's the simplest knot that you can do for basically any bait. So that's the Fisherman's Knot. I use that on basically everything, especially if I'm fishing bottom rigs or anything like that. For any type of monofilament, I usually spit on it or dip it in the water or something to get a little moisture and suck that knot down really tight. I'll put that hook or something on the back of a seed or a cup holder or something so I can really snug it down so that this tail doesn't ever come out. And if you do it right, you'll have 7, 8 coils right there, and that knot's never coming loose. I don't care what you do to it, you'll break it before you do anything like that. Now again, there are some other knots you want to tie that may be better for offshore fishing or something like that. Now another one that I tie is one that I would use for like a lure when I want a little bit more action. What it is, the bowline knot. Now this knot you can use for a lot of different things. I use it when I'm pulling somebody out of the ditch. I use it because it's a knot, at least on big line, that you can always get out. So a bowline knot is simply the same. Basically, imagine that you're running this rope through the eye of your hook. All you're going to want to do, and I'll take this as slow as I can, is you're going to want to put a loop in your knot like that. All right, you're going to take the other end of your rope and you're going to run through the loop like that. Boom, up around it and back through. And when you tie it, it's going to look something like that. Now, if you're towing a truck or something, it doesn't matter how tight you pull that truck. I could stick my truck and 2 others together and pull it as tight as I wanted, and you can always just come and break that loose loop right there and it'll pull that knot out. So that's something to know too for doing stuff like that. So but the nice thing about this is when you do have a lure on there, it lets that lure free swim, or the eye of that hook free swim in this loop a little bit. So if you want maybe a little bit more action, I think it helps a little bit when you're throwing corkies or something like that, that you may want to have a little bit more movement and not as such a stiff move left to right with like a Fisherman's Knot. So again, I'll show you this one real quick. It's a bowline knot, and this is probably the best knot you can know just in general for all kinds of other stuff. So run it through the eye of your hook. You got 2 ends. You're just going to make a loop with this end, right? Run it through the top, pull a little more snug. You're going to go around the top of your other line and then back up through that circle. And there you go. I used to tie my horses up. I trained a lot of horses over the years, and that's how I tie them up, especially young horses that I was worried about setting back, because it didn't matter how hard they pull. Again, I can break it out. So that's your bowline knot. The next knot, I don't really know what the knot's called, but if people struggle sometimes that are just starting out and are dealing with braid, that's Pepper, that's our dog. Trained her to be a duck dog. And she's all the time getting after these ducks that we got running around here. Hey, Sit down. Lay down. People that like maybe just fish for the first time, fish braid or things like that, they don't really know what to do or how to tie it. So if you have a cork or a hook or anything like that and you're running braid directly to it, which I don't do very often, but if I'm fishing a popping cork, I will run braid directly to my popping cork. So again, imagine this is the eye of the popping cork. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of my braid, I'm going to put it back through there, and then I'm going to rerun the end of my braid back through that loop. And then what I've got is a big loop on this side and just my tail over here attached to my other one. And this is super simple. Once you get it like that, and it's going to be kind of hard to do on the grill because it's not big enough, but once you get it like that, all I'm going to do is just tie a simple knot in it like that. And then you're going to run your cork or your lure or whatever it is all the way back through that knot like that, so that when you pull it tight, it sinks all the way around there. So I'm going to show that to you again. Now you can fold it or run it through there, but it doesn't really matter. So imagine you're going to run you know, one end of your braid all the way through the eye of that hook. All right, all you're going to do is put that right back through it, but don't pull it all the way back through. Then you're just going to have a loop. Okay, you're going to take that knot, or you're going to make it a knot. You're not going to cinch it down too tight. And then you're going to take the hook or the bait or whatever it is, or the cork, and you're just going to shove that cork all the way back through that big loop you made. And then you're going to pull it tight. I like to really spit on the braid or get it wet, and that braid will suck all the way down onto that hook, and it won't come loose. You'll break the braid before that happens, because I know you've probably all noticed that that braid's really slick, and if it isn't tied right, then it's just gonna pull straight out. So that's gonna be your braid to any type of you know, regular hook or knot that you need. Now the last one's gonna be attaching braid to monofilament in a way that allows you to have a smooth transition and not be able to not throw it through the eyes. I usually put about, I don't know, 18 inches a liter of mono on my braid when I'm working plastics, because I don't really ever like throwing you know, throwing that knot through the eyes if I can help it. You know, so some people want to put a really long one on so they can retie a bunch, but I don't like throwing when I've got, you know, 4 foot a leader out there. So what I do is imagine this is your braid coming down from the tip of your fishing rod. So this will be your braid coming out, and you're ready to tie. This is our little strip of mono. What I want to do is I think about this, and I run the mono back up to the fishing rod, and I run the braid away from the fishing rod, and that's how I think of it. So you're going to get these two right together. Now I usually tie my mono first. So what I do, it's super simple. I just take this and I make a loop in my mono. Then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap it around that braid 5 or 6 times, and I don't want to pull it snug. Okay, if you're doing this right, again, that's gonna tighten down into a really nice tight knot with those stacked on top of each other. And don't worry if it doesn't look great right now. Now in theory, if you've done this right, that braid should be able to slide through there. It's going to be tough, so leave yourself enough to pull it and get yourself enough slack. Now that you have the braid, you're going to do the same thing. And remember, I always like to run my tails away from that braid's running away from the tip of that rod. So I'll take and do the same thing right here. I'll wrap it 1, 2. When I've got this, I usually wrap it 5 or 6 times. I'm gonna do this because these knots get too big. Same thing. So now we've got the same thing here. I'm gonna kind of snug it down a little bit. It's not what it'll look like when you're doing it on your regular line, but you get the gist of it. So now each piece will slide through the other, and you're gonna pull them tight, and they're gonna suck up right next to each other. And that's how your knot's gonna look when this is tied right. You pull those tight against each other, they're not gonna break. The only time I ever have a problem with this not breaking is when I use it for a long time and I don't retie it. And a lot of times that braid will snap off from wearing like that against that mono after a while. But it's not really a problem that I have very often. It usually happens when I throw a big heavy top water after throwing some other stuff for a long time. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna come in here and you're gonna clip these tails off really tight, and then you're gonna have a knot that's got a really smooth transition, and now you can tie your other knots to your baits and your lures. So check those out, practice them at home. This is super fast to tie. It's a little bit tougher when it's in the wind, but you know, there's some other ones that you can use, but those are the only 4 knots that I ever use. I don't really bother with learning anything else because I don't really need anything else. It gives me all the action I need for any baits that I use, and you know, if I was running a tugboat or doing something where I needed some sort of special knot, then I would do it, but that's what it is. So I hope you guys are liking the videos and the content we're trying to put out. If you're interested in booking a trip with me, you know, just call the number we're putting on the screen. One more thing I wanted to add, folks, is I ended up getting a new truck. So I'm selling my other one. It's a Ram 2500. Just rolled a little over 200,000 miles, not quite 201,000. Very clean truck. Nitto trail grapplers on it, have about 2,000 miles on the brand new set. It's got a bed liner in it. Where's that car gets by? I put a backup camera in it. Interior's in great shape. I put some new carpet in it. It didn't really fit very well, but it, you know, that old carpet just gets worn through. The backup camera makes it really nice. Toolbox. Interior's in really, really good shape. As you can see, I have not smoked in this car. Nobody else has either. I don't like the smoking too much. Just don't like the way it smells. Again, backup camera, full screen, 4-wheel drive works, transmission's in good shape, got the wireless, you know, I guess the Bluetooth for the phone, dash isn't cracked. I mean, it's just a really nice, very nice, well kept, clean truck. I've not had any problems with it. I had to fix the AC about, I don't know, about 6 months ago. Spent about $700 or $800 on that, and put the new tires and the steps and all that on it. But if any of y'all are interested in this truck, it's a great truck to make your daily driver, or take it to, you know, Idaho and go hunting in it. It doesn't matter. I drive this thing anywhere right now. So y'all check it out. Asking $19,500 for it. These trucks are super hard to find, and in this good a shape, they're really, really hard to find. So let me know if you're interested. My number's on the screen there for my guide service. You can text me or send us a message over YouTube and come get it. Everybody, I want to just say thank you for all the comments and people reaching out and saying thank you. We had some people reach out about buying some houses and listing houses with us, and we really appreciate it. If you do have a local business, Rockport area, that you want us to kind of feature on our little channel, let us know. It doesn't cost you anything. All we do is ask y'all to you know, like and share our channel and subscribe, and then put it on your Facebook. Y'all have seen some of the other ones we've done, so you know, I'm certainly not an expert in marketing or making videos, but we're just trying to you know, make them as professional as we can. If y'all have any other houses that y'all want to list, or you know, if there's any property that you'd like us to look at, let us know, and we'd love to help you out. So you can get hold of me or Jennifer. RockportTexasLiving.com is our website, and you can search all the MLSs if you're looking for property, and then send us a message. We'd love to be your agents. Y'all have a great day. Bye.